Welcome. It is Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth featuring Jeff Jr. I'm Rusty Humphries. I'm not featured at all. Doesn't say featuring Rusty Humphries. Featuring Jeff Jr. I wouldn't want it to say, because you're the star of this thing.
Feature us both.
You put me in there and the show just tanks. I'm just barely here.
Love you. I
appreciate it. Not as much as that fly loves you.
Fly loves us.
Okay.
We're going to kill him here.
We're outside having a good time and talking about different ways to build your retirement, build your wealth, and backdoor. There's some kind of a backdoor Roth or something that's supposed to be really good. What is that, and why do I want that?
So the backdoor Roth. So I'm trying to change the name to Covert.
Okay.
I'm kind of a one-man band here, though. So the people watching this and you have to help me change the name to Covert.
Okay. Why do you like that more than backdoor?
Well, backdoor just sounds weird. It kind of sounds a little sketchy, right? Backdoor.
Okay.
That's where thieves enter. That's backdoor. It's Covert.
Okay.
Which just has a much better ring to it. So
spy-ish.
Right.
Okay.
A little bit more strategic. So Covert Roth.
Okay.
Or backdoor Roth, as many people know. So what a backdoor, a covert Roth is it's where you contribute to an IRA. Okay. So a traditional IRA. So this is, you'll do this if you can't qualify to, because you make too much money, you can't qualify to invest into a Roth.
How much you make how much you have to make to be in that where you can't do it?
I don't know what the rules are for 2021. I believe it's like 190,000, but don't exactly quote me on that.
Somewhere around there.
They change each and every year. If you're doing a joint filer, and then there's single filers and all that. Okay. But if you make too much money to contribute to a Roth, that's where this covert feature comes in. So what a covert Roth is where you contribute dollars into a traditional IRA. Okay. So the max that you can contribute in a traditional IRA this year, I believe, is $6,000, unless you're a certain age, unless you're over 50, and then you have to catch up. So there's certain rules. I'm just going to talk generically here. But you contribute money into a traditional IRA, and then you convert that into a Roth. So you actually are contributing to the Roth. Now, you can't directly contribute it to the Roth because you're ineligible, because you make too much income. However, if you contribute that into your IRA, your traditional IRA first, and then convert it into the Roth, it accomplishes the same thing. That's just an extra step, and that's called a covert Roth.
Okay, why is Roth so much better?
Well, a Roth is tax-free. That's really why it's so much better.
Oh, I like
now,
that.
It's not pre-tax. The money you put in there, you can't deduct off of your ordinary income tax.
Okay.
However, all of the earnings on that monies that you contributed are all tax-free. And what you'll find is compounding interest. As we know, Einstein said the eighth wonder of the world is compounding interest.
Right.
So over a period of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, however long you're saving, the majority of your money in that Roth is going to be earnings. And the beauty of that is all of those earnings are completely tax-free.
Nice. Okay, so what do you want to consider when you're thinking about this? What should you be thinking about?
Well, consider your retirement. Consider what you're saving for.
Okay.
And just have a budget in place where you can max out that traditional IRA each and every year and covertly put that money into the Roth.
Okay.
That's one thing, obviously, that you want to consider. Also, another thing to take into consideration is if you have an existing IRA or monies in an IRA.
Yeah.
Let's say you have $100,000 in an IRA. You can't simply take $6,000, put it into that same IRA, and then convert that $6,000 into the Roth. There's a certain calculation that has to be done.
So what, has to be new money kind of thing?
Well, the best is not to have an IRA whatsoever, with the exception of the IRA that funds the Roth every year.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's a certain calculation that your accountant is going to have to do, because you're not going to have the ability to put all $6,000 into that Roth. Talk to your CPA or your tax professional about it. It's for a whole nother.
I was going to say, it sounds a little bit complicated. I mean, I don't know that I'd want to do it. I'm trying to think of where I would go.
Well, do you have an IRA?
No.
So if you don't have an IRA, you would want to do it. You make great money. So open up an IRA, no balance, right?
Okay.
There's nothing in there. Put your $6,000 contribution into the IRA and then convert it into a Roth. Now, over the next 20, 30 years of helping promote Trajan Wealth and our program, you're going to have hundreds of thousands in there, all tax-free.
Okay, did you see how he did that?
You'd be the perfect candidate.
But he did, and just convert it. Just convert it into the Roth and just do it. It's like
that's something our team would help with. And all it is essentially a transfer from an IRA, a traditional IRA, into a Roth IRA.
Which is why I'm saying you don't want to do it yourself. You don't want me doing it because I'm going to do something wrong. Next thing I know, Joe Biden could be knocking on my door going, "Hey, you owe money to the IRS." Come on, man, you owe money to the IRS. He'd probably say.
That's a possibility regardless.
Yeah, so I don't want to do that. I want to work with the professionals. I want to work with the experts. I want to work with guys that know what they're doing. And those are the guys at TrajanWealth.com.
Or just Trajan Wealth. Or you can go to TrajanWealth.com. That's our website.
Well, I mean,
but yes,
work
with the individuals at Trajan Wealth. I would say all of our advisors are fiduciary advisors, so we're not brokers. We're not incentivized to sell a product. And it really starts with teaching and educating and empowering you to start saving and save in a correct way for your retirement.
Because I'm going to sit down with my financial advisor, and you're going to say, "This is what you should do," and I'm going to go, and then you guys, "Don't worry, I got it covered." Right?
If you don't understand it, but I really think it starts with education. We can bring down the education to whatever level you're at, but don't feel intimidated.
Right.
A lot of people don't save for their retirement because they're just scared. They just don't know what to do, or they feel very intimidated. And frankly, a lot of financial advisors talk with fancy jargon. I think they do that intentionally to make themselves just sound smart. That's not what we do. Our goal is really to teach and educate and empower you so that you do have a fulfilling retirement or financial future.
You know why you do that? Because you have hearts of teachers.
We have hearts of teachers. That's right.
See, I've been paying attention to the show. Have you? Well, sure. If you have been, and you want to make sure some of your friends and family know about this, and you should, please share the show and subscribe. Hit the notification button. This is this is stuff that you just don't. No, most people just don't know this stuff, but it's important.
Right, by converting your money into a Roth, you could literally save yourself tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes just from this little concept.
That's what I would do. Maybe you should do it too. TrajanWealth.com is the website, TrajanWealth.com. Hit the subscribe button, the notification button, because you don't want to miss any of the words of wisdom from Jeff Jr. We'll catch you next time. I'm Rusty Humphries. He is Jeff Jr., and this is Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth, featuring Jeff Jr.
Investment advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor.